The Dallas Cowboys backfield has given us more running back ones than I can even count. Even in 2024, Rico Dowdle became a clear fantasy starter. The Cowboys said, much like fantasy nerds, running backs don't matter. Javonte Williams, 5th-round pick, Jaydon Blue, undrafted free agent Phil Maffa, and Miles Sanders are now the running backs, Mr. Buck, for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, what is even the deal? These are their stats from last year. 603 snaps for Rico Dowdle, 219 for Zeke. Remember, they brought Dalvin Cook in. 294 snaps for fullback Hunter Lupke, 200 fantasy points for Rico, 4.3 points per game for Ezekiel Elliott. What on earth is this team doing with their running back position, man? Because I don't understand.
We just don't know. I mean, I think they're just trying to cobble together a Franken Rico Dowdle in a way. I mean, the backfield's a mess. It's a complete mess. You got Miles Sanders to start. He's everybody's late round darling right now. He's a slappy pick now, as we were just talking offline a little bit about. It's crazy. He's about as right wing slappy as you can get, but the slappies are trying to claim him, and they brought him into like the 16th round. I mean, at the beginning of the summer, he was going undrafted, and I thought he was a great pick. I took him in an early BBM team, but now he's in the 16th, and he's rising, and there's a lot of uncertainty, and it's making me a little nervous to take him anymore. I mean, we once thought he was good. We once thought he was kind of great. He was just passable his first few years in Philly. He had a crazy receiving year his first year, but he hasn't come close to that since. And his best year in the Eagles produced 1,269 yards and 11 touchdowns on the ground, but 78 receiving yards and 0 TDs in that year. It's kind of crazy. I had completely forgotten that. The Panthers gave him a 4-year contract for just north of $6 million a year with $11 million guaranteed. They dumped him this year, and he got a paltry $1.3 million with, wait for it, $167,000 guaranteed.
Buck loves the guaranteed money.
Dude,
he loves it.
$167,000 guaranteed is less than just about everybody.
That's not even J.K. Dobbins 2024 money.
Bro, that's not even Samaje Perine money. That's definitely not even close to Alexander Madison money, but that's another video, I think. This is a cuttable ass amount of money. I was not prepared for him to have under 200K, but that could mean nothing, and he could win the job. That's totally fine. I'm just not comfortable with his rising ADP. And then you have Javonte, who showed promise his rookie year and then had a devastating multi-ligament tear in his knee and really hasn't been the same at all since. He's a good receiver, decent receiver.
It's actually so insanely stark looking at the data. He was really good as a rookie.
Yeah.
3.4 yards after contact average. Then his next 2 healthy seasons, 2.7, 2.4. This is actually crazy. Forced more missed tackles that rookie year in 2021 in Denver, 63, than he did in all of 2023 and 2024 when he played every game. I mean, that is crazy stuff.
I know. And he still got $3 million with $1 million guaranteed if you're a guaranteed money bro like myself.
That's less than Elijah Mitchell money, bro.
It's less than Elijah Mitchell money. But it's a lot more than Sanders. And he's still not very good, but he's going in the 10th round, which I feel is kind of insane. I'm not taking a lot of Javonte. I'm not taking really any Miles Sanders. And I'm definitely not taking Jaydon Blue. 5th round rookie, 5'9", 196. Not going to work. Just straight up. Davis says he's fast, but he ran a slower 40 than Trey Tucker, and Davis thinks Tucker is slow.
Both of those things are incorrect. Faster 40 than Trey Tucker, and he is very fast.
No, look it up.
I will look it up, and I'll know for a fact.
Player profiler is lying.
Player profiler is wrong. A 4.38 for one Mr. Jaydon Blue. Trey Tucker ran a 4.4 flat. So Jaydon Blue.
It's pretty. No, I mean, if you're splitting hairs there, that's okay. So either they're both fast or they're both slow, whatever. But he's being taken in the 12th. I mean, didn't you learn anything from Kamani Vidal? I mean, there are so many good running back picks up and down the board.
Didn't you learn anything from Devin Achane? It depends. With the thing
sure.
that you can do
sure.
with 4th round rookies or 5th round rookies or 6th round rookies or 7th round rookies at running back, not at wide receiver. Very clear difference between being a 5th round running back and a 5th round wide receiver. A 5th round wide receiver for an NFL team, they are happy if that guy can play organized football at all. They are happy if they don't have to cut that guy. A 5th round running back, a 6th round running back, a 7th round running back, the team that takes that guy, they're planning on that guy making the team. The
it can work.
About being a running back is basically, if you are in the category of like, if you are Marquez Valdez-Scantling, but you're a running back, you're getting drafted, right?
Right.
If you're Marquez Valdez-Scantling, a wide receiver, you're probably not getting drafted. So
right.
What's so interesting is all of these guys are bad. You can't really make a talent-based argument for any of them. Javonte Williams last year, 2.4 yards after contact average on 146 rush attempts. He had 4 games with a touchdown,
Yep.
0 100-yard rushing games. He was truly one of the worst rushers, just period, in football. 2.9% explosive run rate. 2.9%. He got stuffed on 50% of his short yardage carries. He generated, these are like.
It's not great.
Hunter Luepke, maybe if the Cowboys would have given him a similar workload to what Javonte got for the Broncos last year, could have done this. Carson Steele for the Kansas City Chiefs could have done this. Now, you might be saying, well, okay, I see what the slappies are throwing down with Miles Sanders, right? 76.1 rushing grade last year, really limited attempts, 2.51 yards after contact average, almost more missed tackles force on 50 rushes than Javonte Williams on 150 rushes, better breakaway rate, right? And I think based on the reporting that we've read, we could see here that the Fort Worth Star-Telegram has reported that Sanders and Javonte have been splitting the first team reps. I think that's what you'd expect. It's June, it's July, it's early, it's mandatory minicamp. The veterans are going to be given every opportunity to play there. I think a lot of the other quotes that we've seen from the Dallas coaching staff, we're going to give Turpin some rushes. Don't forget about Hunter Luepke, Phil Maffa, whose name we have not mentioned yet, from Clemson. He's a big fella. I believe he weighs about 235. So my argument, Buck, is that there's only one elite trait that exists in this backfield. Miles Sanders, possessor of 0 elite traits.
Speed.
Javonte Williams, possessor of not even 0, whatever the opposite of elite is. Javonte Williams is possessor of some traits that are so negative that you might as well not put him on the field. There is one elite trait that exists in this backfield, and it is Jaydon Blue's ability, yes, in terms of speed, but more in terms of what he can do as a receiver. I mean, he did generate 37 missed tackles force on 135 rushes last year, 3.83 yards after contact average. His best games of his career were in the college football playoff in terms of what he did as a receiver. So that stuff tends to matter. So, crushed against Clemson in a very big game. I grant you the conceit that Jaydon Blue is not very good. If you look at his historic comps, the guy you would think would be number 1 on his historic, it's exactly who you think it is. It's Nyheim Hines, former backfield mate of Jonathan Taylor. His number 2 comp, much more interesting to me. The kids might not remember this guy, a young fella by the name of Chris Thompson. He played in the NFL for actually longer than you think for the Commanders.
Oh, man, Pro-Size.
He broke his leg. Kenyon Drake, CJ Pro-Size, James Cook, a lot of guys who have had sustained runs as meaningful NFL players. But I was really intrigued by the Chris Thompson comp because it makes a lot of sense to me. Thompson's best season, he finally recovered. He broke his leg that first season you see there, and he never really got right until this season right here. He gains 800 yards and 6 touchdowns. I think Jaydon Blue, if you told me the Cowboys don't sign, trade, add anyone else from outside of the building, I think that is pretty gosh darn reasonable. You know what I don't think is reasonable? I don't think 212 PPR points as projected by our Lord and Savior, Mike Clay, is all that reasonable. I think those total numbers for the backfield, 367 rushes, 1,500 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 92 targets. I mean, doesn't that sound pretty reasonable for the backfield as a whole to you?
Yeah, it does. It does, but I mean, I'm just not taking any of these guys right now. It's kind of an avoid for me. Like, I feel like the Cowboys are setting themselves up to be one of the more aggressive passing attacks in the league this year. And that's kind of how I want to play the Cowboys. The Cowboys backfield is kind of by avoiding it, I think. I want to circle back to Achane. Pre-draft for Achane, how does he compare to Blue as a comp?
Well, Achane had 1 year of being a clear starter for his college team, and he was a legitimate workhorse. The way Jaydon Blue actually came about being an NFL player was basically by accident.
Yeah.
So Jaydon Blue, 65 rushes, only 533 yards and 4 touchdowns. The presumed starting running back for Texas in 2024 tore his ACL in like college training camp. His name's CJ Baxter. And then Contravian Wisner, no, not Contravian Wisner, another guy whose name I forget, also suffered a season-ending injury, I think an Achilles or a patella tendon. Contravian Wisner was the guy that he split touches with in the backfield, and
Okay.
it was kind of a thunder and lightning situation. So we might not even know who Jaydon Blue was without injuries to 2 other guys, and that makes you say, oh, well, why would I draft this guy? This guy stinks, right? And then you realize, you look at last year's backfield and you go, wait, there was a 200 fantasy point season here from a guy who basically is not an NFL player in Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle with 235 rushes, 49 targets. He only scored 2 touchdowns. I mean, just a little bit unlucky there. My favorite stat about Rico Dowdle, Buck, the guy who outrushed him his final season at South Carolina, Tavion Feaster, never played in the NFL and instead is a regional manager of a distribution center for Coca-Cola. And when I tell you that, you can think of 2 things. You can say, well, Rico Dowdle sucks. And then the other thing that you should think is running back production is effectively random, and it basically is, who did the coaches decide to give the ball to? And I sit here and I look at this backfield and say, I think one of the things the coaches might decide is, enough of these guys who can't move, enough of these guys who can't break any tackles. Why don't we just let the young dude who runs fast get the ball?
Well, I mean, I will just say too, like, I was a big Dowdle drafter last year, and I was glad that he panned out, but it wasn't a great experience. He was the garbage man. He was like garbage time.
He just didn't score any tuds. Is the issue?
Well, he was like just empty yardage in games that were not even close, which is fine. And maybe that's what they'll be again this year. But like, I would expect them adding Pickens and Dak recovering to sort of shore up that passing game to the point where they're not just dumping off or handing off to run out the clock in games. Like, I feel like this might be a terrible experience where it's a multi-running back split, and I don't think anyone should count out the Cowboys trading and add someone better once they see all these guys in camp. A lot of times,
well, that's basically what happened with Javonte Williams' old team, because everyone was so bad that no one was able to excel. We got 139 rushes for Javonte, 113 for Jaleel, 76 for Estimate, 13 for Mims. Remember Tyler Beatty, because all these dudes basically couldn't play.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is what happens if 2 of them can play, right? If you just imagine the same kind of split where these dudes each divvy up 100. Well, we got 150 touches for one of them, 140 for the other, 191, 137, right? Then you're like, okay, well, then at the price I'm getting charged for Sanders, for Javonte, and for Jaydon Blue, I can basically live with that if they give me anything.
Mm-hmm.
The way that I have it outlined right now is pretty clear. I've got Jaydon Blue as a very clear target. Miles Sanders, I think, is fine.
I'm not like Miles Sanders in that picture. I'm sorry to interrupt. Is that AI?
That's AI. That's AI. So, I mean, it is Miles Sanders.
Not a flattering picture.
But it's the one that's going to be on the thumbnail, so people will see it. And then I think just at his cost, I think you just have to see Javonte Williams off of what he did last year, where he got 70 targets and still did nothing. I think you have to see him as a fade. And it pains me to go against my boy Mike Clay, but I think his overall numbers are right. I would basically cut Javonte's numbers in half. I would boost Jaydon Blue's receiving numbers pretty significantly, and I would have Miles Sanders more involved as a rusher. That is how I would set up the Cowboys 2025 backfield. And to me, based on the landscape of what I've seen at the running back position, I think that makes you want to draft Jaydon Blue as the running back 43 right now on Underdog.
Well, let's pull up the ADP. Let's see who's going around him. Because we're talking like round 12, right? I've
got Jaydon Blue clearly over Trey Benson because they're both handcuffs, but Jaydon Blue has both standalone and can maybe be the starter. I would listen to Dobbins over Blue. I would not listen to Rashad White.
Guerendo, I would over him.
I would hear Guerendo. Oh, thank Bigsby, man. What What a moment in time. And then it's guys who are not even in conversation. Eckler, Roshan Wright, Braylon Allen, Rico Dowdle, the aforementioned.
Braylon Allen is, I mean, I think we like Allen this year, don't we?
We can like guys at their prices, but these are different standards of players. Jaydon Blue is probably not going to, but could start week 1 at running back for the Dallas Cowboys.
I mean, I guess it's not responsible to like full fade a guy like that, I would say. So maybe I'll get a little blanket, but I'm not happy about it. I'm not excited about it. Like taking him again over Tootin too, is that no, just
well, there are two ships passing in the night. Jaydon Blue is getting much cheaper, but you guys heard it, folks. For the very first time ever, by the end of the video, I just got Mr. Buck St. Thomas to say, Uncle, you guys comment down below. Who is your favorite running back to take in the Dallas Cowboys backfield? See you tomorrow.